Hello, my name is George Conrad. My family and I have lived in the Valley Waterloo area for more than 25 years, and I've had the privilege to be the school superintendent here at DC West. I want to let you know that I support the bond. I've heard that the school generates the reputation of its town, and I believe that's true for DC West. I'm hoping to provide you with this short video just to give you some information about why I think we need the bond. If you'll excuse me, I'll be looking down at my notes to make sure that I'm also giving you accurate information. There's a little bit of confusion about how everything works, and I want to provide you with some of that detail. 10 years ago, we took the first step to reorganize our two school districts to DC West to provide a better education for our children. At that time, we had a debt of $800,000 and no cash reserve. Over the past 10 years, our board has worked very diligently and conservatively to reduce our levy to $1.10 at its current rate and to eliminate the debt and to create a cash reserve. In the same past 5-year period that we've been at or below $1.11, our neighbors in Gretna, Elkhorn, and Bennington have paid more than $1.30. I think the time to act is now. How does the bond work and why do we need it? The district conducted a facility study over this past year and identified a number of things that we thought we needed to address. This bond project would include ADA code updates, classroom designs for more electricity, heating, cooling, and technology, science labs, building security, an auditorium, and increased square footage, just to name a few. The proposed bond is for $45.7 million. If the board actually sold all the bonds, that would be an increase of 35 cents. So what does that all mean to you? As a homeowner, if your home was valued at $100,000, you would see an increase of $346 or $29 a month, about the cost of a meal. Remember that your vote would be to approve a maximum amount. If the project bids at a lower cost, then less bonds would need to be sold. Also, I think it's important for you to know that the money can only be used for the project and can't be used for anything else. As a matter of fact, the board is looking at right now some other ways to finance bonds and are looking at private contributors to help reduce that total cost. Even if you don't have children attending DC West, improvements to the school facilities attract new families and will help your property value maintain or even increase. Without such a bond, we stand to reduce what we can offer our students. Potential families will take a second look at relocating at DC West, and we could very well see a reduction in all of our property values. When I'm talking to my friends, I like to use the analogy of a used car. For the past 10 years, we haven't been making any car payments, which is why our levy is so low. We've kept reworking on that used car and trying to keep it updated as long as we could, but it's time to trade the car in for a new vehicle. As you know from your own family budgets, when you start thinking about adding a car payment to your monthly budget, it takes a little bit of an adjustment, if you will. But the time is really important now to consider that payment. If we don't act now on renovations and improvements, those costs will only continue to increase in the future. Though, when it's all said and done, isn't this really about our kids and about the future of our communities? We took that first step 10 years ago to reorganize to improve education for our children, and guess what? That first step has actually worked. In the last published tests, even with our diverse student population, when compared to the other 11 school districts in the learning community, our high school students performed third in science, third in math, and second in reading. Our latest science test scores for our 8th graders showed 100% of our students meeting or exceeding the state standards. In past tests, our 4th graders 100% of our 4th graders have exceeded or met all of the standards required in writing, When you look at scores from other districts, you'll find that this is a phenomenal percentage. But now we need to take the next step. We need to provide a safe and improved learning environment for all of our students. It's all to all of us to help our students grow. My sons have received a great education here at DC West, and I want to see that your children and grandchildren continue to receive that great education. And this bond will help us improve the learning environment for our students and staff and help keep that great tradition alive. So here's what I'm asking. I'm asking you to please join me in supporting the bond. And not just supporting the bond, but taking the next step of talking to your neighbors and helping them understand why this is something we could use here at DC West. It will help all of us maintain the tradition of our communities and of our schools. Thank you.